Okay, so move the flesh from the sit bones and sit tall. Any cross-legged position is fine for the legs. Hands can just rest comfortably on the knees. And close your eyes. If you prefer, you can join the index and the thumb together, letting the other 3 fingers be long, palms facing up. And just take a moment to shift from whatever it was that you were doing today to this orientation back within the body, within the mind, and the breath. And sometimes just closing the eyes is all it takes for the mind to begin to settle down. Shifting to those alpha waves, more relaxation. And begin to understand how much energy leaks out through the eyes, or we use through the eyes, particularly in this day and age with so many screens. So we just give them a rest here. And we open up the inner eye, our inner seeing. And let that inner eye watch the rise and fall of the belly. Feel the belly expand on inhalation and contract on exhalation. Each inhale as the belly breathes in and expands, feel a lightness coming into the body. And each exhale as the breath leaves and the belly contracts, feel a sense of being grounded. Like the abdomen drawing back to the spine is really anchoring you. And one of our breathing tools that's very helpful for this is the Ujjayi Sound. So if you want to bring that into your breath now, the ocean wave or whisper type sound to the breath. Makes it easier for the mind to stay focused. Inhale lightness and exhale grounded. And in your mind's eye, just for a moment, I want you to think about what it's like to sit up straight or stand up straight. That feeling of slightly pressing into the ground or the earth, or anchoring just a little deeper into your foundation. And that from that anchoring, there's an extension, a lift, or a lightness. It allows you to stand taller or feel stronger. More and more expansive. And now, after the few moments here of this conscious belly breathing, take a moment to just relax the breath, but maintain the tall, extended posture. Just soften everything for a moment. No effort. Just resting in that space. Good. Now on your next inhalation, draw the breath in through the nostrils. Fill the chest first, then the rib cage, then the belly. And on the exhalation, we still start in the abdomen, so squeeze the navel in and up. Feel the rib cage draw closer together. And then let the chest be the last thing to soften as the breath leaves the nostrils. So now we're going from the top down. So inhaling into the nostrils, fill the chest, ribs, belly, and exhale the belly, then the ribs, chest, breath leaves the nostrils. A few rounds like this, please. Again, remembering to feel lightness on inhale and grounded on exhale. And what you may pay attention to or find, excuse me, when you're really looking inside those sensations of lightness and grounded, is that on the inhale, when you feel a sense of lightness, there's almost an automatic desire to ground. And when you feel that sense of grounding, there's almost an automatic experience of getting longer, taller, brighter, more expansive. So see if you can feel how both are present in the same. Maybe there's a little emphasis on one, but the other one is present in order to allow that to be. Just a few more breaths here, please. So really continuing to experience the extension of the spine. Samastiti. And we'll just take one more full breath here. Lightness on inhale, grounded on exhale, but watching for both. And when you complete it, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Let your thumbs touch your sternum and bow your head to your hands. So we want to feel that in each and every posture that we're working in today. And sometimes when we get into more challenging postures, our minds get absorbed in the physicality of it. But the breath is really the liaison between the mind and the body. It's really that bridge. It's really the key to the practice. And so when we do these practices, when we do these postures, try your best today to really feel those qualities within the breath in the midst of the pose. And this is a helpful tool not only on the mat, but off the mat. That when we're in different experiences, we can tap into the breath in this way to change our perspective and our orientation. So if there's anything in your life right now that's asking you to really listen to the inherent intelligence within the body and within the mind, within your own heart, you could call it your intuition if you'd like. And bring that into your intention now. And place it in the heart, surrounding it with love. That maybe you're used to listening to your intuition, maybe you're not, but there's no better place to start than now. Let's start the practice with a chant of Om 3 times. Deep inhale in. And take a long exhale out to really purge the breath and create the room for a nice, new, deep inhalation. One more inhale in. Two more, please. Very low, slowly lower your chin to your chest. Release your hands. And take a moment to let the chin really sink and just tilt the right ear to the right shoulder. And exhale the chin to the chest and tilt the left ear to the left shoulder. And just go back and forth a few times, rolling through the neck, not all the way around, just making a half circle. And if you're moving through one side or the other and you find an area that's particularly sensitive, you can just hang out there for an extra breath or two, give it some prana, some of your attention, and then move on and switch. Notice also through the repetition that each time we go into a side, again, we find just a little more space, even if it's a micro space. It's just that body being willing to let go in some subtle way. And then come back to center. Inhale, reach both arms out. Lift and lengthen through your core. As they come over the head, interlace your fingers and now push your palms away and stretch as tall as you can. Even take the shoulders by the ears for a moment to pull the side bodies up. And then draw the shoulder heads down in the socket, but keep the side bodies long. And feel the low ribs draw towards your back body, contracting your abdomen slightly so you're nice and stable here. And then continue the breath we started with. Chest, ribs, belly on inhale, belly, ribs, chest on exhale. Again, inhaling, you're getting lightness. Exhale, grounded. One more here. Good, now keep the arms in the position they're in. Just let your head rest on your right arm and just lean to your right. So left hip stays anchored. There's that grounding. And now from there, more and more space in between the ribs. And it doesn't have to be far. You don't have to bend deeply into the right side. Just feel that extension through the left. Good, one more. Breathing into that left lung. And then come back to center. And now let your head rest on your left arm. Lean over to your left side. And just stay and breathe. Any place where it feels like you're sinking, keep reaching out of it so there's more room, more space for that breath to fill. Again, it doesn't have to be too far. Don't worry about how much you're bending. Just find that breath. And now come back to center. We're going to keep the hands in this position. You're going to push the palms forward, round the back. So the navel hugs towards the back body, concave the spine. And then inhale, and we're going to go in the opposite direction. You're actually going to pull the arms a little further behind your head and bow the back. And do that again. Exhale, pull the abdomen in, tailbone absorbs in, push the palms away. Inhale, extend up. Pull the arms back. There's even a slight back bend there. Keep going. One more. And then inhale the arms up over the head and exhale, just slowly let the arms come down by your side. And just take a moment to feel. You can just let the arms hang for a moment. Right fingertips come into the earth. Inhale the left arm up. Walk the right hand out. Now we've already done some lateral stretching, so as you reach the hip away from the fingertips, feel all that extra space that's already in there. Keep the left hip anchored down. Now we're going to stay with the right ear to the right shoulder and lift the left arm up in the air and slowly bring it down to about shoulder distance. And you're going to turn the palm down And then reach the fingers away like someone was pulling your arm out to the side. Right ear sinks a little deeper to the right shoulder. And again, just like that neck stretch we had at the beginning, keep relaxing, keep giving in. One more here. Really opening up that cervical spine. And now keep the right ear to the right shoulder and slowly lift the torso up so that the head stays bent. And now the hand that was on the floor, the right hand comes up and around and grabs onto the left jaw. And then you don't have to do anything else. You don't have to push down with the arm or anything like that. Just let the weight of the arm, the natural weight of the arm, do the stretching. And then the left shoulder draws down away from the ear. So go really heavy through that arm and shoulder as if you were holding a weight in your hand. Breathe into the neck here. Be sensitive. These muscles are tiny. They need support. They're overworked with our current lifestyle. And they also are an area we tend to hold a lot of stress. And we only have a little bit of that lately, I'm sure, but. All right, now keep the head where it is. Again, you want to be real sensitive. Take your hand to your temple and just gently guide the neck back up. And you can listen to the muscles. They'll talk to you. You can feel, okay, wait, we need to go a little slower here. Okay, and then we're good. And take a moment to just rest the hands on the knees. Just feel the left side versus the right. Okay, do other side. We're going to place the left fingertips into the floor. Right arm's going to lift up, and we're going to walk out again, coming into this lateral stretch. Right hip anchors to the floor, fingertips reach away. So create as much space as you can. Keep the shoulder head into its socket. You can bend that left elbow as much as you'd like. If your hips are propped up, you may not be able to get the forearm down, but if you're on the floor, you can. And keep stretching and lengthening and opening up the space between the rib bones. Navel hugs the back body for support on exhalation. Good. Now, left ear to left shoulder. We're going to start to take that right arm up over the head. And then it comes to about shoulder distance, and you'll turn the palm down. Reach the fingers away like someone's pulling your arm out to the side. Notice that space. Breathe into it. And again, just observe. Keep breathing into the areas of intensity. On inhale, they get a little bit more intense. On exhale, feel them melting and softening, all that tension leaving through your fingertips. Two more breaths. Keep relaxing. Good. Now, again, we're going to keep the head heavy. We're just going to bring the torso up, so use your core. The hand that was on the floor, left arm comes around, grabs right jaw. No extra pressure there. Just let the weight of the arm do the stretching. Right shoulder sinks away from the ear. Imagine you're holding a weight in that hand. Breathe deeply here. Notice how the posture changes the experience of the stretch. So sitting taller, lifting the sternum, versus rounding or collapsing in any way. One more breath here. Again, just being really sensitive. We're going to take our hand to the temple and take your time. You can even close your eyes if it helps you listen better. Just listen to the muscles as they return back to that space. And then hands on the knees again. Sit tall and breathe. Good. So maybe already feeling a little extension has come into the spine. We're going to start now in tabletop position. So moving the shoulders and the hands underneath one another and the knees directly under the hips. Feel the spine long here from the crown of the head to the tailbone. And then inhale, just lift the sternum forward, lift the tailbone up. So notice the back bend, the extension, hyperextension, and then exhale, pull the navel towards the spine. Notice how the tailbone goes under, head and neck releases, same as we were doing when we were in that seated posture. Repeat that again. Inhale, come to neutral, and then pull the sternum forward and let the tailbone lift, all with that control and that stability. So we're not dumping weight into the low back. And then exhale, navel hugs the back body, tailbone absorbs in, head and neck hangs. But just one more like that, please. I'm real mindful as you move. Inhale. Extending, lengthening. Nice stability there. And exhale. Pull the abdomen in, tailbone down. Releasing crown. Good. And then inhale here. We're going to lift the heart one more time. And this time we're going to exhale to child's pose. So exhale and the navel hugs back, and keep a little bend in your elbows as you go back. Go real slow so that as you hug the elbows toward the midline, you're widening the upper back. Pull the hips down. Use the sticky mat underneath the hands for support. And then take your hands onto your sacrum. And then inhale, reach up, stand on the knees. Right arm comes up and over the head. Keep the arm in alignment with the ear as you exhale, and navel to spine coming all the way down. Good. Again, inhale, you're going to come up. Arm in alignment with the ear, stand on the knees, elongate, and this time we're just going to exhale and sit back on our heels and bring the arm back to the sacrum. Let's do the other side. Inhale, stand on the knees, left arm lifts up, in alignment with the ear, try to maintain that support in the spine, long, straight spine as you come down. Navel hugs the back body. All the way, forehead releases, and then inhale again, arm in alignment with the ear. Use the strength of the back. Come back to standing on the knees, extend, and then exhale, sit back on your heels, tall spine, and hand goes back to sacrum. Good, same thing on this side. Inhale, reach. So you can feel the lateral stretch here. As you exhale, the abdomen's in, trying to maintain extension all the way to the end. And then inhale, extend out again. So use your core strength. Lift and lengthen. And then exhale, sit back on the heels and bring the hand back. Inhale. So going nice and slow requires that you have muscular endurance, that you're able to sustain that posture, you're able to sustain the strength. Good, and then inhale, lengthen out of it. And exhale, back to the heels. Good, just going to do one more round like that. You can do it at your own pace with your breath. Right arm first. Keep reaching out through that arm so you keep the lateral length. Inhale here, other arm. You'll end by sitting tall, hands on the sacrum. Just take a moment to feel. And then we're going to point the fingertips back towards the toes. Lean back and now push into the palms. Lift the heart and stretch into the front body. And just feel that beautiful extension, hyperextension of the spine here. Sternum lifting, shoulders stretching, chest widening. Again, when we have that poor posture, we tend to collapse our heart, round the upper back. And this counters that. 2 more breaths here. Keep giving prana to the areas that are tight. And then roll off your fingertips, lift your sternum forward, and come back into a tall spine. Tailbone absorbs in, lower belly lifts. Just feel. Okay, tabletop position again. And inhale, lift the heart, lift the sit bones, look up. Mindful movement, and then exhale, tuck the toes, and find downward facing dog. We're going to take down dog in a couple different stages here today. So start by just bending one knee and press the other heel down. And then bend the other knee and press the other heel down. And just go back and forth a few times, opening up the backs of the legs, observing if there's tension there. And now we're going to take the feet wide, so toes, big toes to the outside edges of your mat, and then push down towards the heels, even if they don't touch, and lift your hips as high as you can. So when we widen the legs, it gives us a little bit more of an opportunity to extend the spine. So head and neck is heavy here. Let that just do its natural traction. In the upper body, make sure you press palms deeply into the earth, especially the web of the index and thumb. And then rotate the inner elbows toward the midline. This will help to widen the shoulders and the back body. And as the tailbone lifts up, feel that that pulls away from the Achilles, creating more and more length in the legs. And each exhalation, the navel hugs in and up under the rib cage. So hollowing out the belly for support there too. Let's take 3 more breaths here, please. Inhaling, feeling lightness. And exhale, feeling grounded. And once you're connected to those energies, notice how both are present, even if one is predominant. Good, and then bring your feet back to the center, bring your knees to the floor, and we're just going to take child's pose for a moment. So keeping the knees together actually helps to stretch the spinal muscles a little more. And then the arms down by your heels, palms face up for embryo. Let the shoulders round. Let everything settle here. Feel the forehead sinking deeper into the mat. Breathe into the back body. Two more. And now we're going to come forward again for down dog. We're going to take down dog a little different this time. So this time we're going to bring the thumbs to touch. So your hands or your stance in your upper body is going to be much more narrow than usual. Spread your fingers wide. Tuck your back toes under. Lift your sit bones up and away. And same thing in the legs and feet. We're actually going to bring the toes to touch. So everything's hugging this midline. We're in much more of a narrow stance than we were before. And then draw those heels down, lift the tailbone up. And notice how the limbs may have different imbalances on one side versus the other, but how together they have support. They provide support for one another. They can compensate where there might be a weakness. Head and neck remain soft. Breathe here. Navel continues to hug the back body. Just a couple more breaths, observing how this feels. Lightness on inhalation, grounded on exhalation. Good, last one. And then we're going to open the feet to hip distance apart, open the hands a little wider, and then come onto the balls of the feet. Bend the knees, look at the hand step, or lightly hop forward to your fingertips. Open your feet hip distance apart, little micro bend your knee, and let your upper body really hang over your legs. Head and neck is relaxed. Breathe deeply here. Now lean into your heels for a moment, then lean into the balls of the feet, and just rock very subtly back and forth until you find what you think is the center between those two. And same thing, rock to the inner foot, rock to the outer foot, until you find where the balance between those two resides in your body. And then in the upper body, we're going to bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, take the knuckles up and away, and just stretch out the shoulders. If you like to do that little flossing, that little movement, dynamic movement, go back and forth a few times. Knuckles towards the sacrum, then towards the crown. Or you can just stay in the posture with the arms over the head and continue to feel the body relax and release. As you give in, as you let go of that tension, the knuckles will float further away from you.
Keep settling. Remember, lightness on inhalation, but grounded on exhalation. That's really the emphasis in this particular posture. And while you're breathing in this way, can you look for the lightness within the grounding? Just a couple more. Stay with it. Keep giving in. Very nice. Now pull the knuckles back. Press down into the feet. As the knuckles pull back, the torso lifts. And then you come into standing. And then hands can just stay interlaced. Chin's going to lift. Sternum lifts. Open up the front line. And then just let it all go. Just relax everything. No effort. Stand in Samastiti. Notice how much easier it is to hold the spine up straight. Notice your foundation in your feet. And then the subsequent lightness in the body. One more breath here. Okay, so we're going to do some sun salutations. Starting at the front of the mat, Surya Namaskara C. Big toes touching, space between the heels, hands together in front of the heart. So the arms are going to come up from the front today. Inhale, the arms come up from the front. There's a slight back bend here. And then exhale, the hands come into prayer down the midline to forward fold. Step the right leg back, lower the knee down, top of the foot. Inhale up for low lunge and bring the palms to touch. Press into the top of your back foot. Exhale, we're going to step back to plank position and modify the vinyasa here by bringing knees to floor, toes stay tucked, sit bones to heels. You're going to push out through the feet to scoop your nose, chest, chin across the earth. Inhaling into cobra, tops of the feet ground, elbows and shoulders pull back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg's going to come forward to the fingertips. Lower the left knee down. Inhale up for low lunge, and palms are going to touch here. Press into the top of the back foot. Exhale, step the back foot forward, standing forward fold. We're going to modify with Yoga Mudra, knuckles up and away to stretch the shoulders. Bend your knees, scoop through chair, come into standing extension. Again, arms from the front, open up into the back bend, and exhale, hands to the heart. So that's the right side. Let's do the left. Arms from the front. Inhale, reach. Exhale, palms down the center line to forward fold. Left leg goes back, lower knee, top of the foot. Inhale up for low lunge. Again, palms touching. Exhale, step back to plank position. We're modifying the vinyasa, knees to floor, toes stay tucked. Press the hips back towards the heels and push out through the feet as you scoop nose, chest, chin across the earth. Inhale to cobra and exhale to down dog. Left leg steps forward, right knee comes down. Inhale, low lunge, palms touch, open up. Exhale, step forward, forward fold. You can do Yoga Mudra here if you prefer. Bend your knees, scoop through chair. We're going to come forward and up. Inhaling, opening up the heart. Exhale, hands to the heart center. That's one round. Let's do another one. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands down the center line, fold. Right leg back, low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, plank position. Knees down, sit bones back. Push out through the feet as you scoop through for cobra. Inhaling. Elbows and shoulders are back. Exhale, down dog. Right leg forward. Left knee down. Inhale. Palms touch. Exhale. Step forward, fold. Yoga Mudra if you'd like. Bend and scoop, come through. Full breath in. Exhale, heart. Left side, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg back, low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, plank position. Knees down, sit bones back. Inhale, scoop forward. Cobra. Exhale, down dog. Left leg forward, right knee down. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, step forward, standing forward fold, yoga mudra if you'd like. Bend and scoop, come through. Exhale, heart. One more full round, inhale. Exhale, fold. Right leg back. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale. Plank position, knees down, sit bones back. Inhale, scoop forward. Exhale, down dog. Right leg forward. Inhale. Exhale, step forward. Forward fold, yoga mudra. Bend and scoop. Inhale. Exhale, heart. Last one, left side, inhale. Exhale, fold. Left leg back, inhale. Exhale, plank. Knees down, sit bones back. Inhale, scoop forward. Exhale, down dog. Left leg forward. Right knee down. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, step forward. Interlace. Bend and scoop, come through. Exhale, heart. Now, just leave the arms by your side. Take a moment to feel blood moving, heart beating, breath, filling all those spaces with fresh life, fresh prana. Feel the warmth melting the tension. One more. Very nice. So coming to the front of your mats again, big toes touching, space between the heels, hands together in front of the heart. You're going to inhale, the arms reach up from the front, and exhale, forward fold. Step the left leg back, stay high on the ball of the back foot, and really anchor into the front shin bone so that that's pressing forward, and lift up and out through the back heel. So you really want to be strong in that back leg. Hug the muscle to the bone. You don't want to sink into the pelvis, but you want to activate. Now, reach your sternum forward. Keep the fingers in a finger stand for a moment and just really get strong here. And then once you're able to, lift the chest just halfway up, extend the arms out wide, and reach the crown of the head away from the back heel. Really elongating the body, so it's almost as if you could take flight. Back is strong, abdomen hugs the back body on exhalation. Notice the work in the legs and feet. Any tension in that upper back, send it out through the fingertips. Breathe. One more here. Countering that gravity. Now, fingertips come back down. Anchor the left hand down. Take your right hand to your thigh. Rotate that outer thigh down. And then lift the right arm up for a gentle twist. Stay strong in your back leg. Let the navel rotate to the right as much as you feel comfortable. Breathe deeply here. 2 more. Full, complete breath, lightness on inhalation, grounding on exhalation. Good, and then bring the hand down, step the back foot forward, come into standing forward fold, and just melt over the legs. So notice the warmth, use it to relax some of the tension. Then we're going to inhale the arms from the front, flat back. Strengthen the body as you come all the way up. And exhale, hands down the center line to the heart. Good. Let's do that on the other side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. And this time we're going to step that right leg back. Stay high on the ball of the back foot, fingers in a finger stand. Start to really strengthen the legs. So I like to imagine that there's a hand in front of my shin and I'm really pushing firmly into it. And that back heel, though, we're not sinking back in the heel either. We're lifting up so that the toes are getting as much of a stretch as possible. Back thigh is really engaged, hugging to the bone. And then when you're ready, we're going to press down, extend the arms out wide, and just feel that you're countering gravity. Like all that weight is sitting on your back, but you're strong and you're extended. And breathing deeply here. Keep hugging the abdomen towards the back body on exhalation. Lengthen through the fingertips. Elongate the upper back. Ujjayi breathing. Crown away from heel. Now, fingertips to the floor. Plant the right hand down, left hand to thigh. Rotate that thigh towards the outside. So you want to make sure the hip's not lifting up too high. As you feel stable there, left arm's going to go up in the air. Just a gentle twist here. Breathe deeply. I love this one to warm up the spine. It's really good. Two more. Keep rotating. And then bring the fingertips down, step the back foot forward, and again, just melt into all of that space. Really let the body take it in. Last one. And then inhale the arms from the front, flat back as you come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. Good. So we're going to do some swing and sighs, so just to release the energy of that. So you're going to bring the arms up, and it's just going to sound like this. You just let the arms dangle and stand up again. Keep going. Inhale. Two more. And then with the arms over the head, just let them slowly come down by your side like they're floating on their own. And just kind of feel all that cleared out space. Body filled with light, energy. And yet grounded, stable. Okay, so arms from the front, inhale as you reach up. And then exhale, forward fold. We're going to do the same thing. So we're going to step the left leg back again. High lunge position, just like we did before. Fingers in a finger stand. And now this time again, same strength to the legs. When you feel ready, you're going to come all the way up for crescent. So arms are going to reach up and over the head. Now we're going to interlace the fingers here. Index and thumb point up, say Pana Mudra. And we're going to lean towards our bent knee leg. So leaning towards your right. Feel that lateral stretch, similar to the work we were doing before. So there's some space there already. Breathe into it. Now the legs have to be really firm. You've got to squeeze that muscle to the bone so that we know we've got the foundation. And once that's set, the body's like, oh, okay, I can create a little more room here. I can let go. It's safe. One more. Now come back to center, stabilize, right hand down. Left arm stays long, bring the elbow over onto the thigh, spinal twist. If this is too intense, lower your knee to the floor. As that elbow sits on the thigh, fist with the bottom hand, cup with the top, or hands in prayer. And now you're going to lift the chest away from the thigh and rotate the navel to the right. So we're taking the twist like we did before, but now it's a little bit deeper. Breathe here. Let any tension go out of the face, the neck, the jaw. Do the work in the abdomen. Find that lightness. One more. And then fingertips to the floor. Step the back foot forward and just come into standing forward fold. Once again, let everything melt. And you might find that after something intense, it takes a few more seconds for the body to acclimate. That's okay. But hopefully you gain a little more space. Inhale the arms from the front, flat back. Come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. Good. We're going to do the other side. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Now the right leg's going to step back. Again, you're in high lunge positions. Prep with the fingers in a finger stand. You want to really make sure you feel stable. And then when you're ready, arms come up. Crescent high lunge. Interlace the fingers. Maybe try it the awkward way. Index and thumb point up. This time we're going to lean towards our left bent knee leg. So leaning to the left, that right side body's lengthening. Find your breath. Inhale, focus on lightness. Exhale, grounded. And if you're really comfortable, look for both. Ujjayi breathing. Eyes are steady, mind is steady. Good, come back to center. Left hand to thigh. Elongate with that right arm a little more and then go down into the twist. Right elbow on top of the thigh. Navel rotates to the left. Stay firm in your back leg. Don't sink there. If you need to bring a knee to the floor, that's perfectly fine. Breathe deeply here. Create length in the spine. Don't hunch in the upper back. Don't crunch your shoulders or your jaw. Spaciousness everywhere. One more. And then fingertips to the floor. Step the back foot forward. You're just going to forward fold. Again, take your body maybe an extra minute or two just to settle in. That's okay. But feel that sweet, sweet release as you let go. Good. Flat back, arms in alignment with the ears. Come all the way up to standing. And exhale. Hands to the heart or down by your side. Let's take a rest. So there's opportunities during the rest is to really consolidate the effects of the practice, the work that you've just done. Now remember, we want to integrate it, not just rush through it. One more breath. Still at the front of your mat. Inhale, the arms reach up. And exhale, forward fold, but arms in alignment with the ears. Try to keep that flat spine as you go all the way down. Now we're going to have a couple options here. If you're really tight in the legs, you can just have your hands on your shins and perform monkey pose that way so that you're kind of bringing the floor up to you in a way. If you're a little more flexible, you're going to hook the index middle thumb around the big toe. And if you have a little bit more flexibility than that, you're going to take your left foot, lift it up, toes are going to head towards the heel. Fingers head towards the heel, toes go to the wrist, crease of the wrist, and then do that on the other side. Lift the right foot up, get the toes to the crease of the wrist, and so the pad of the foot now is pressing into the palm of the hand. Now you can bend your knee as much as you need to do any of these options, just to make sure that you feel like you're not straining the muscle. You can challenge it a little bit, but don't go push that line too far. So when you are feeling comfortable, you're going to inhale and pull away. Whether it's monkey pose, whether the index middle thumb's around the big toe, or you have the hands flat. And then exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows, relax the head and neck. Good. Repeat that again. Inhale, you're going to pull away. So crown is reaching away from tailbone. You're creating as much length and space in the body as you can in this bound position. And then you exhale and you soften into it. Good. We're going to do 3 more with your breath, please. So inhale, feel the lightness. Exhale, grounded. Inhale, lightness. And if you're able to, look for the grounding within the lightness. How does the grounding play a part in that extension? And then exhale. And notice how the lightness plays a part in the grounding. One more. And then release the hands from underneath the feet if they were there. Hands to the hips. This time we'll take a little break on that back body. Just come to halfway. Let the blood level out for a moment. And then when you feel comfortable, press into the feet and come the rest of the way up. And just roll out your shoulders. Roll them backwards a few times, loosening up, and then roll forward a few times. These joint exercises are so important. Good, and then have the feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. We're just gonna do some of that joint rotation. So rotating to one side and then the other. The arms just kind of dangle by your side and they wrap around your waist with each twist. Now make sure you're pivoting on the ball of one foot as you twist so that you're not straining or stressing the knee. And you can really feel the whole spine, all the fascia there that surrounds the spinal muscles, getting a nice little stretch. And if you get real comfortable, you can keep your gaze forward and continue the body twisting, which will actually be a little deeper. Eyes focus on one point. Good, just a few more here, back and forth. And then you can let the arms just kind of settle on the side. And again, just kind of feel prana enhanced. Feel how there's energy moving through the body. It's like you're chronically charged. Batteries filling up. Okay, so if you have blocks, it might be helpful to have them near the front of your mat. And if you don't have blocks, that's okay. You can always bend your knee. Anything that you can bring the floor up to use, it would be fine. Hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, the arms reach up from the front. And keeping them in alignment with the ear, flat spine as you go down. Now here your hands might find the floor, and that will be helpful, especially if you're tighter in the legs. We're gonna do standing leg splits, so we're gonna put weight into the left foot and take the right leg up in the air and look at the toes as they go up. So you wanna try and maintain that flat foot, toes pointing straight down, not popping the hip out to the side where the toes moved in a different direction. And then the inner thigh of that leg is lifted up. Now, if you're really flexible in this position, you may be able to get that leg a little bit higher. But if not, just stay where you're at, and that's okay. You're going to take your hand on your left thigh and slide it from the glute down to the heel 3 times. Just to remind the back of the leg, yes, we're working you, but we're also relaxing. And then you can hug the left shin if you'd like, press into that supporting leg, and lift the right leg a little higher. Breathe deeply here. Hands either on the floor or on your block. Head and neck is relaxed. Now, if you think you're creating tension in the shoulders or the jaw, try to roll them out a little bit or do what you can to relax. Keep letting go. One more here. Now we're going to step that right leg way back. And if you need padding under your knee, flip your mat over. Keep your back toes tucked under. Flex your left foot and come to sit on that back heel. So this number 4 pose. It's like a half splits. Beautiful hamstring stretch there. Breathe into it. 2 more breaths. We talked about how repetition helps remind the body of its flexibility. So we're going to go back into that standing leg splits one more time. Weight comes forward into the left foot. Take the right leg up in the air. And again, if you want to wrap the arm around the calf or just keep both hands on the floor, that's fine. Anchor into your supporting leg. Lift that top leg just a little higher. Don't bring in the tension. And then step the right foot to meet the left. Standing forward fold. If you want to grab onto either elbow here and maybe just sway a little from side to side, if that helps you to relax. I know that we tend to effort quite a bit in that pose. And then just settle. Very nice. We're already down here, so if you want to just place your hands on your blocks again, weight into the right foot. We're going to take the left leg up in the air. Again, follow it with your gaze as it goes up. Toes point straight down. Inner thigh lifts. Breathe deeply. Again, you don't want the hip to pop open. You want to keep it straight in the center there, even if it's not that high. And then right hand's going to go on the back of the thigh 3 times down. You're going to slide from the glute towards the Achilles, just melting the tension, reminding the body that we're here to support it. It always is supporting us. And then one arm's just going to stay back and hold on to that calf if it's comfortable. And you can have the hand on the block or the floor, depending on your flexibility. Breathe deeply here. Head and neck is relaxed. Again, roll the shoulders if you need to. Loosen the jaw. Navel hugs the back body on exhalation. Think lightness on inhale. Grounding on exhale. Now, stepping the left leg back. Go as far as you can, flip your mat over. Lower the knee down, keep the toes tucked behind you. Sit back on that heel, flex your right foot, keep the spine long, crown away from tailbone, chin in, and now just enjoy that hamstring stretch. So there's times when we're countering gravity, we're working against gravity to create some strength and length. And then there's other times where we can actually use gravity. You can feel some of that density helping to open up the back of the thigh. One more here. Okay, so repetition. We're going to go back into it one more time. Bring your body weight forward. Weight into the right foot, left leg lifts up. Wrap the arm around the calf if you'd like, hugging the chest to the thigh, and just breathe. Maybe from that relaxation in between, you find that there's less intensity. And then step the back foot forward, come into standing forward fold. Again, if you want to grab onto the elbows, maybe do the awkward way this time, and just sway a little from side to side. Grounding and lightness. And then get still. Good. We're going to just do a gentle, traditional vinyasa from here. So inhale, hands on the shins for monkey pose, flat back. Exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank position. You can choose to have the knees lifted or lowered. Chaturanga. If the knees are down, it's cobra. Otherwise, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Once again, we're going to take the big toes to the outside edges of the mat. Draw the heels down. Press the chest towards the thighs. And feel this more open downward facing dog. Notice if there's any difference from when we first started. And then bring the feet to touch, bring the hands to touch. Squeeze everything in towards the midline. Again, notice any difference. Do you feel maybe a little more stable, a little more spacious? And then knees to the floor and just sit tall on your heels. And absorb the tailbone into the body, lift the lower belly, and just rest your hands comfortably in your lap. Eyes closed. And feel all that space and length. We did a lot of forward motions today, so I want to give a little space to the hips here. So you're going to take your right foot to your right thigh and your left foot behind you. So it's almost like, I always call this the cheerleader stance, but it's almost like doing a little bit of a pigeon pose here. And what we're going to do is we're going to walk our fingers forward and just allow the spine to soften. Now try and maintain extension. Grow heavy through your right hip and heavy through the top of your left foot and knee. You're getting a nice Stretch for the inner groin. And just keep melting as the body allows, as the body gives you permission. You can come to forearms if that's comfortable. Head and neck is soft. Keep settling in. And then slowly come back to center. We're actually going to go 2 more positions. We're going to go to the right first. And now this time walk out over that right. So you get a little bit of a different stretch here. Navel's rotating to the right. And just feel the upper body again soften over that. If there's some flexibility there, you can always go to forearms. I'm getting into a little bit of psoas here, a muscle that runs in the inside of the abdomen. And then come back to center, and we're going to go all the way over to the left. So here, a little bit gentle, not quite as much space, but we're going to plant the palms down and just go over that left leg. Just stretching in all these different directions. And just notice where you're holding your tension. It might be different on the next side. And then the final piece here, as we come back to neutral, we're going to plant the right hand down behind us and then just rotate up and rotate the shoulder a few times. So as you lift the hips off the floor, rotating a few times, just feel all that space in the body. We did a lot of lateral work. We did a lot of extension, hips, hamstrings, so much. And then come back down and we'll switch sides. So left foot to right knee or thigh, top of the right foot down behind you. So coming back into that cheerleader stance. You might find the hips are different, very different on each side, and that's pretty normal. So fingers come forward. Think of this like your pigeon pose, and you're just gonna keep the heart open as you allow the upper body to sink. And then you just wanna take your time with it, be patient. Stay heavy through your left hip as well as the right knee, top of the foot. You can still feel that lightness on inhale, grounding on exhale, or pay attention if you can find both. And then slowly come back. And this time we're going to go over that left knee. So you're going to rotate your navel to the left, walk your hands out. And again, just come down at your pace. Where is that good stretch for you? And breathe. And slowly come back. And last one, a little more awkward here, just over that right leg. So navel's going to the right now. Breathing here. Notice where the sensation is. Send your breath there. Remember, it's healing. Your breath has healing capacities. Fill those dense areas, those tight areas with light. And don't underestimate the power of your mind. Good. And slowly come back. And we'll just extend the legs straight. Take a moment here. Internal rotation of the thighs. Hands beside the hips, feet are flexed, everything engaged. Spine is tall. Press the palms down deeply into the mat. Reach the crown away from the tailbone. I really feel that embodiment of extension. Samastiti here. The more we have memory of sitting up straight or using our muscles in the way they were intended, the easier it is for us to remember when we fall out of posture. And also, the easier it is to get back into posture. Good. One more breath here. And then we're going to come onto our back, so you can just scoot down there a little bit so that when you extend your legs, your feet come together. You can reach out through the balls of the feet if you want. Spread the toes. I always think about like pressing the gas pedal. And we're going to take our thumbs underneath our hips here and hug the forearms into the side bodies. And we're going to come into that fish pose, Matsiasana. So pressing into the forearms, puff up the chest, let the crown of the head come into the mat, and just breathe. Feel all that light. Keep the legs firm. Reach through the toes. Two more. Good, and then slowly bring the head and upper body back down. Take a moment to rest. Good, and then we're going to hug the knees into the chest. Rock just a little bit from side to side on the spine. So just take a moment to remind the spine of flexion and spaciousness there. And then we'll straighten the legs, and the soles of the feet will face the ceiling. If you have the flexibility, you can hook the index middle thumb around your big toe. You can also just hold on to your calves if you prefer. Now we want to reach the inner heel up towards the ceiling. And make sure the spine is long, so crown is reaching away from tailbone, chin is in, not jutting up. Pull the pinky toe sides of the feet back, and imagine you could make an imprint into the ceiling with a flat foot. Draw the shoulder heads down into their socket. And this is very much like doing your Paschimottanasana, seated forward bend, but this is what it would be like if you kept or maintained perfectly straight spine. So that's about the level of flexibility that's available today. Now open the legs out wide and maintain some sort of bind, whether you're holding the toes or you're holding the outside edges of the legs. And then continue to let the tailbone lengthen away from the crown of the head, and gravity can do the work here on the inner thighs. So just allow that to soften. Breathe deeply here. Again, as you give in, notice the breath. There's a sense of lightness and grounding. Now you can just stay here if this is enough for you. If you'd like, you can Bring the legs over the head into plow. Widen the legs and hold on to the lower back with the hands and repeat the same posture but in this different position. Breathe deeply here. Do not turn the head. And really, we don't want to do this kind of flexion for the neck if we have excessive neck tension or any kind of disc issue, any kind of neck issue. We're just going to stay in with that flat spine. Now, if you're on your back with a flat spine, continue to stay there. If you're in this plow position, you're actually going to reach forward for your toes, where you can hook around the calf again. And then we're going to pull the navel toward the back body and just slowly slide back down into that position. Good. Releasing just the left leg. Take that down to the floor. Maintain the stretch in the right leg. Let heaviness come into the right arm. Your supporting leg is long, getting all that space in there. Bring the left leg back up. Grab onto the toes or the outside of the leg. Find your center again. And now take the left leg long. Down to the floor. Maintain the position of the left arm. Growing heavier, creating more and more space. Right leg stays firm. And then bring the right leg back up. Bring everything back to center. Notice if there's some more length and space there now. And then just open the arms out wide, but keep the legs in the same position. So you're going to turn your head to the right and take your legs to the left. They're going to stay together. You can hold on to those toes with your left hand if you prefer. Navel rotates to the right. Breathe deeply here. Just enjoy that stretch along the back body. Navel softens, right shoulder sinks. Good, now you can take one leg up and the other, or bring both at the same time if the core strength is there. And then you're going to turn your head to the left and take both legs over to the right. Again, you can hold on to the toes if you prefer. And navel rotates to the left. Left shoulder sinks and softens. Deep breaths. Still finding those two qualities within the breath, even though you're relaxing. Good, and then take one leg up and then the other, or both at the same time. Come back to center and just hug your knees into your chest. Rock a little bit from side to side on the spine. And just before we go into Shavasana, if you have that block handy nearby, you're going to take the feet hip distance apart, roll up into bridge, and slide the block underneath the sacrum. Ideally on the tallest edge, but if that's not possible, middle edge is fine, or flat edge. And then just take the legs up for just a little inversion here. So allowing all the blood to drain from the feet, easing the work of the heart. Good, and then just feel lightness coming into the legs, an area that's usually dense and grounded and heavy. As we invert here, it becomes lighter. And what becomes dense and heavy is the chest and upper back, the head and neck. And usually very light, becoming very grounded. Jaws relaxed, eyes are closed or soft gaze. Continue to breathe deeply. Completely in sync with this play of opposites. And then slowly take one leg down and then the other. Back to bridge. Rise onto the balls of the feet. Slide the block out. And then take your time, one vertebrae at a time. Just going to melt the spine into the earth. Just really feeling that anchoring, that security, stability. And then extend the legs long. Palms face up. Shoulder blades tuck underneath you. If you have an eye pillow, you can place it over your eyes or some sort of light cloth to block out the light. Make sure that nothing's touching the fingertips. And allow yourself to settle in. As you settle in, returning back to just that simple belly breathing, so no longer the pattern we've been working with class. Just rise and fall of the abdomen. Just like when a baby sleeps. And as you settle deeper into more and more relaxation, body grows heavy, mind quiet. So very slowly begin to deepen your breath. As your breath deepens, just feel your awareness being drawn back into this time and space. And begin to run your thumb slowly across your fingertips, enlivening the skin. Wiggle the toes. Rolling wrists and ankles. Just bring the arms over the head and do a good morning stretch. And then curl over into your right side and just rest in fetal for a moment. Arm under the head as a pillow. And planting the hand into the earth, slowly come back up into seated. Head and neck heavy, eyes closed as you come up. And if you want to prop your sit bones up for meditation, just find a blanket or bolster. And now feel the density, the grounding in the lower half of the body, anchored into the earth. And then feel the lightness, the expansion in the upper body. The harmony as these two work together in unison. There are times when we need to lean on one over the other when we've become imbalanced. But in those moments when we are secure in balance, these two opposites are at peace with one another. Honoring and recognizing the value of each and how they're intricately connected. The shadow and the light. And just bring your hands back together in front of your heart. Let your thumbs touch your sternum and bow your head to your hands. Just return to the intention that we set at the beginning of the practice, this idea of creating that extension, that lightness, and the grounding. And how really when we're in tune, when we're in alignment, it gives us greater access to our intuition, to a way of knowing beyond just the mind, and beyond just the senses of the body. So let's seal the practice with the chant of Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Deep inhale in. Again, long exhale out. Deep inhale in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for practice. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel so you see all the latest videos that we put out. Also share with family and friends because we could all benefit from the practice. And in the description, there's a link to the Patreon account if you'd like to donate, offering some support for these classes to continue. Thank you so much. Namaste.